Welcome to Pique Your Interest, your go-to podcast for all things mortgage and real estate. Hosted by Tanner Greenwald and Tim Velasquez. We bring you expert insights to help you buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Let's dive in.
Good morning. I'm Tanner Greenwald with the Greenwald team of First Home Mortgage, and we have Kim Brooks here today. Kim, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kim Brooks, and I'm a local to Maryland yoga teacher, wellness practitioner, stand-up paddleboard instructor, and I create wellness experiences for people, for businesses and individuals. And Tanner will share my information with you all later if you'd like to get in touch. I'm excited to be here.
Well, thanks for being here, Kim. So essentially, I wanted Kim to come in because she's done a couple different podcasts, in the area with other types of people. And I wanted her to hone in on stress in the workplace. What does it mean? What does it look like? How can you overcome it a little bit? I think this is a topic that a lot of people are struggling with right now. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You could be in the mortgage industry. You could be in the wellness industry. You could be a firefighter, a teacher, whatever. So I think it's helpful to kind of know practices, know the common signs, symptoms, whatever, when you notice that you're feeling really stressed in the workplace. So I have a couple questions for Kim, and we're hoping to get a little clarity on how we can overcome stress in the workplace. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, Kim, so what are some common signs that someone is stressed out in their current workplace today?
So in my experience, I'm not a therapist, I'm not necessarily an expert in stress, but I have a lot of experience with working with people who are feeling really overwhelmed and stressed. A lot of times you might notice they're just acting differently. They are maybe withdrawn, having trouble sleeping, coming in anxious and irritable, just complaining of physical symptoms. So digestive issues. Stress can show up in a lot of ways in our body, especially when it's chronic stress. And so you're not finding those ways to calm your nervous system. Stress is very normal. It's what our body uses to, back in the day, protect us from lions in the wilderness. So we need it to alert us when there's danger, but sometimes it's on constantly. And so we never come back from, okay, there's no lion, like we're fine, we're safe. So just really noticing the people around you and if they're starting to act differently and just showing some compassion and offering to listen, and just asking questions can help you determine if stress might be a factor.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because I had a recent girlfriend, we were in a conversation and the topic got brought up of obviously being back in the workplace and how stressed out it is. And especially after the pandemic, nobody really said, hey, you're back in the workplace. Let's figure out how to make this, not relaxing, but you know what I mean? Let's help you get through this weird time that we just went through, throw you back into work. And so there was none of that to be had. So it's almost like, okay, how do we navigate this anymore? So I thought that was kind of interesting because it's almost right. It's like, yeah, I haven't experienced it really. I mean, have you heard of anybody that's like, oh yeah, we went through this great program after coming back from work?
No. So I was a former elementary teacher. And we came back and it was like, okay, we've missed 18 months of learning and we're just going to start testing. We need data. And it's like, there was no transitioning for teachers, educators, students.
Yeah.
I just feel the entire world went through something together and there was no collective exhale, no collective, we all just went through a really hard time. People lost family members and jobs and things just looked different. And then all of a sudden we're in this new normal And no one knows how to be in this new normal.
Right.
We've never been here before.
Mhm.
This is all new. So everyone is just showing up
Yeah.
the best way that they can.
Mhm.
And there's like, most people, well, everyone yearns to be feeling safe, secure, loved, happy, right? And so now we're navigating this new space and everyone's just sort of walking on eggshells. And some people are grasping so tightly to control and what was, and how do we get back to that? And then you have other people that are like, I don't want to go back to that. I want to move forward. And so we just haven't really figured out how to be in this new space. And so I think it's just so important for people to show up with that compassion and understanding. People are holding a lot and not knowing what to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, it's funny because you said something about breath work. So that kind of leads me into the next question that I have. Kim, can you share any physical strategies or techniques that you found helpful when someone feels like they're really stressed out in the workplace and they're in it and you notice it? I notice I'm stressed. How do I get over this kind of thing?
Yeah. So there are so many techniques and modalities that you can use. So it's really important to like slow down, go inward, pay attention to yourself, your body, like really taking that moment, like hand on your heart, and think like, what do I need in this moment? Do I need to cry? Do I need to curl up in a ball in my bed? Or breathing. And so a lot of us, we aren't breathing optimally. And so something that I do when I'm working with clients is looking at their breathing pattern. And so you want to make sure that you're getting a full breath and it's really being sent downward. So sometimes it's helpful to just bring your hands to your lower abdomen.
I'm going to do it.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome.
And then you can do breath of 10. We won't go all the way down, but starting with just a light inhale, imagining there's a feather and you're barely pressing it. So inhaling down into your hands, feeling the expansion of your breath. And on the exhale, just relaxing head, neck, shoulders. And then 9. And exhale, releasing.
It does feel better.
Inhale. 8. And releasing. And if you're feeling any constriction in your body, like sometimes my breath gets trapped in my chest, so you can bring your hands like just below the bra line and just notice your breath, sending it down below the navel. And so you would continue just having your hands on different parts of your torso just is like a signal to your brain like, oh, okay, I need my breath to go here. And you'll just notice that expansion as you continue to breathe. So laying on the floor, legs up the wall is another great one. So you would just lay with your back, legs up, focusing on your breath. Gentle movement, gentle yoga, just stretching, just getting like wrists, moving wrists, ankles, feet, and just, there's something in meditation, we call it single pointed focus. So just focusing on one thing. So if you're gardening or you're creating art, you're very focused on that activity. So it's a mindfulness activity. And you'll notice that like, you're not thinking about your to-do list, your grocery list. You're very engaged in that moment. So with whatever it is that you're doing, just really focus on how you feel in that moment, focusing on like sensations in your body, focusing on your emotions, like how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
And so I just heard something recently about how we should have, I hate the word should, but I don't have another one right now. We'll should our life away.
Yeah.
But incorporating a creative activity daily is so helpful, whether it's even just like walking outside, dancing, just taking a couple minutes to think creatively and building that in your calendar, like think time, so that you can really explore different ways of being and different ways that, energize you.
Yeah. Honestly, that breathing work did make me feel, even just like I had to come into work today and I had a stressful situation, and that helped a little bit. So yeah, I like
and
that.
we didn't make it to 1, so you can start breath
We
of 10.
made it to 7.
Yeah, we made it to 7. And so if you lose track, which often happens to me, if I'm very stressed out, I'll forget what number I'm on. So then you can start back over at 10 and work your way back to 1. But just bringing your awareness to your breath. Your breath is with you all the time. You can be sitting in a meeting, just feel your feet on the floor, feel your body in the chair, feel the support beneath you, and just tune into your breath. You could bring a hand to your heart, a hand to your lower abdomen, and these are just simple things that can make a huge difference.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we're going to do a little bit of role-playing situation next with Kim. And the reason that I wanted to role-play this specific situation is because I think another form of helping yourself if you're stressed in the workplace is like reaching out to people. You have 1 or 2 special people in your life where you feel like, they're not necessarily your rock, but maybe your rock, where you can talk to them about things and, get your stressors and your angers out or whatever. But so, okay, Kim, I am calling you as a girlfriend, and here's the situation. Kim, I had a really hard day at work. I am so stressed out. My mind is going everywhere. I have so many things that I have to do, have to get done. I don't know where to start. I am so stressed out, and I cannot think beyond this minute. I don't know how to get myself out of this. Like, help me out. What advice do you have for me, Kim? Because you are my BFF.
So first of all, I would probably go straight into the breath. Let's just pause, close your eyes, take a moment, feel what it feels like to be in your body. Do that breath of 10 so you're not going to access any support if you are not feeling calm and grounded. Yeah. So getting you to that place is number 1. And then it just depends on, I would probably ask you more specific questions, but I would really want you to take a pause and take a look at your calendar. Like, what is on it? And really think about each item on that list and how you feel when you look at that specific thing on your calendar. And if it's bringing up like excitement, joy, great. If it's something that you're like dreading and it's bringing you dread for whatever reason, then we would probably talk through that and see, is this something that has to happen? Could you push it back? Could you delegate it? Does it need to happen at all? And just working through just some of the things that are piling up on your plate.
Yeah.
And just figuring out how to manage it, because a lot of times we say yes to things before we truly think about how it's going to impact our life.
Yeah.
And then, as women, there's oftentimes a people-pleasing factor that just has been brought to us through society. And so, just being aware of that. And so when you say no to something, or you say, let me think about that. So having those key phrases like, let me check my calendar and get back to you, that person most likely will find someone else who's going to say yes right away, and then you're off the hook.
Right.
But then noticing, how do you feel when you're off the hook? How do you feel when they went to that other person? Yeah. But then are you feeling upset about the fact that they went somewhere else and now that person helped them and you didn't? So these are just a lot of feelings that have come up for me. I've seen come up with other people. And so it's really exploring these different things that you have going on in your life and how it's truly adding value to your life. And of course you want to help your friends and your family, but just thinking about, is it taking away from your well-being by helping them? Basically, really looking at how you're feeling about what is on your calendar, what is on your to-do list, and asking for help. That's another thing that is very hard for people. And so saying, I'm feeling really stressed. Another thing is, like, there's certain seasons that are busier for certain professions, or, you know, if you have kids in sports, you have those busy seasons. So there's a quote that I love that I learned in my teaching years. It's preparation prevents perspiration. And so like literally mapping your calendar. So if you know May is a really busy month, then, you know, in March, block May. You're not saying yes to extra things during May. You're saying that I'm so sorry. That's a really busy time for me and my family, and I just can't commit to that right now. You know, if it turns out I'm free on that date, I will let you know. But for right now, I'm going to say no. And just planning ahead. So, you know, you have a busy week or month, prepping food in advance. Chop up all your vegetables, put them in the freezer.
Right.
Making easy snacks, like egg bites. Like, those are an easy thing that you can put in your freezer and have on hand. So during that stressful time, you're still eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep. If you have a really stressful week, month, avoiding alcohol. You really want anything that's going to disrupt your sleep, just like set that to the wayside, because you're going to show up even more tired and exhausted and irritable if you are piling on too much at a time.
Yeah. I can attest to that. Okay, and then our last question is going to be, so in the workplace, what is your opinion of what you think could be helpful to have for people in the workplace when they feel stressed out? I'm not talking like big machinery or like, what do they call them? Like the cryo, the thing you get in where it's like an ice box.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
But like simple
cryotherapy.
things. Yeah.
So I think just recognizing from HR, from people in leadership roles, that you work with humans who have human emotions, and they're going to show up in that way. And just sometimes letting people just feel safe, that trust, open communication is really important. And I know that's really hard for some leaders, because there's usually kind of a wall between some people in leadership and employees, and they feel like they'll lose control if, like, how do you gray that boundary, you know? And so it's not easy.
Yeah.
But learning how to hold space for people and how to be empathetic towards people. You want them to do their job, but they're going to show up better and be more productive when they feel supported, when they feel safe, when they love what they're doing and they know that they're contributing value to the company or whatever it is. So number one is just creating a culture where people feel safe to share how they're feeling, share their opinions, and maybe letting people leave early here and there if they have a therapy appointment or they want to go to a yoga class, or bringing like someone on staff that is focused on wellness, you know, if you have that in your budget, or having some sort of benefits that show you truly value their well-being, and just being supportive in that area. But I think also encouraging people to use their vacation time because and truly disconnecting while they're on vacation. This is something that I think about often. When I was a teacher, I would get to, Thanksgiving break and I would be sick every single time. And I didn't have a voice for so many Thanksgivings. And I remember because my whole family would start whispering. And I'm like, you guys have a voice. Right. You can talk. I can't. But our body, we're just in that like go, 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 go. Yes. So then we hit vacation and then our body's like, all right, finally we're chilling. And then all that stress kind of like manifests out into our body. And we start to feel those symptoms that we were stuffing down, and now we're giving them space. So it's important to also be caring about your well-being before vacation so you can truly enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. Nice. Okay. So thank you for your opinion, for your insight, for everything that you brought to the table with us today. We are going to share Kim's information at the end of the video. If anybody wants to get in touch with Kim, like she said, she's a wellness practitioner. What do you do? Paddleboarding lessons on the side? She does paddleboarding lessons on the side.
Yep. Yoga, breath work, Reiki, energy healing. And so I work at some local studios. I see private clients virtually and in person. So yeah, reach out if you need support in any way. Happy to come in. If you have a business or anything, just anything to be supporting everyone in this time. There's so many people going through transition and so would love to connect. You can also find me on LinkedIn, but Tanner will share everything.
We'll share all her information so you can contact Kim if you need to. And thank you again. And hopefully this helps if anybody's feeling really stressed in the workplace right now and you're just like, gosh, what the hell? Like, what do I do? How do I get past this? Whatever, So thank you again and have a great day.